Imagine waking up tomorrow morning and discovering that someone has stolen 5 years of your life. At first, it sounds impossible. You would search everywhere, asking who did it and how it happened. But what if the thief wasn't a person? What if it had been living inside your mind for years? It doesn't wear a mask. It doesn't carry a weapon. It doesn't break into your house. Instead, it quietly whispers a few simple words every single day. I'll start tomorrow. I'm too tired. Maybe next week. I'll begin when everything is perfect. These words sound harmless, but little by little, they steal your dreams, your confidence, your opportunities, and before you even realize it, they steal your future. This is the story of a young man named Daniel. He grew up in a small town where life was simple and opportunities were limited. His parents worked harder than anyone he knew. His father left home before sunrise and returned long after sunset. His mother sacrificed her own dreams just to make sure the family had enough to eat. Every night, Daniel watched them and made himself a promise. One day, he would change their lives. One day, he would build a beautiful house for them. One day, he would become someone they could be proud of. Those dreams felt real. Every night, he imagined himself living the life he always wanted. But every morning, something happened that slowly destroyed those dreams. His alarm rang at 6 o'clock. He opened his eyes, looked at the ceiling, picked up his phone, and whispered, 5 more minutes. 5 minutes became 30. 30 minutes became an hour. By the time he finally got out of bed, he had already convinced himself that today wasn't the right day to begin. Tomorrow would be better. Tomorrow became his favorite word. Whenever he wanted to exercise, tomorrow. Whenever he wanted to study, tomorrow. Whenever he wanted to learn a new skill, tomorrow. At first, it didn't seem like a problem. Missing one day felt normal. Missing 1 week felt acceptable. But life has a strange habit. Small decisions repeated every day slowly become your future. Weeks turned into months, and months turned into years. One afternoon, Daniel was walking home when he noticed a tiny clock shop he had never entered before. Curious, he stepped inside. Hundreds of clocks covered every wall. Some were large, some were tiny, but every single one kept moving without stopping. Behind the counter sat an old man repairing an ancient pocket watch. Daniel smiled and asked, "How do you keep all these clocks running so perfectly?" The old man looked up, smiled, and replied, "Because none of them ever stop for excuses. A clock doesn't wait until tomorrow to move. Every second it continues its journey. That's why it always reaches the correct time." Daniel laughed politely, but before leaving, the old man said one more sentence that changed his life forever. Time never waits for anyone. Every second you waste becomes a second you can never buy back. Those words echoed in Daniel's mind all night. The next morning, instead of scrolling through social media for hours, he picked up a book that had been sitting untouched on his shelf for almost a year. He read only 10 pages. It didn't feel like much. The next day, he read another 10 pages. After that, he spent 20 minutes learning a new skill online. Then he went outside for a short run. Nothing extraordinary happened. He didn't become successful overnight. He didn't become rich. Nobody congratulated him. Nobody even noticed. After 1 month, his friends laughed at him. "Why are you working so hard?" one asked. "Life is meant to be enjoyed." Another friend smiled and said, "You're wasting your time. Success is all about luck." For a moment, Daniel almost believed them. Maybe they were right. Maybe ordinary people like him could never achieve extraordinary things. But then he remembered the old clockmaker and those hundreds of clocks that never stopped moving. So instead of quitting, he continued. One page became another page. One workout became another workout. One lesson became another lesson. Slowly, the impossible became possible. Waking up early no longer felt painful. Reading became a habit. Learning became exciting. His confidence grew because every promise he kept to himself made him trust himself a little more. 1 year later, an international company announced an opportunity that thousands of people wanted. The interview was difficult. Candidates had to solve complex problems, answer challenging questions, and demonstrate valuable skills. Many applicants failed. Daniel didn't. Not because he was born smarter than everyone else, not because he had special talent, not because he was lucky. He succeeded because for an entire year he had been quietly preparing while everyone else was still waiting for the perfect moment. 1 week later, his phone rang. He had been selected. His parents couldn't stop smiling. His mother cried tears of happiness. His father hugged him without saying a word because he knew exactly how much hard work was hidden behind that success. When Daniel met his friends again, almost every one of them said the same sentence: "You're so lucky." Daniel simply smiled because he knew something they didn't. Luck had never woken him before sunrise. Luck had never forced him to read another chapter when he felt tired. Luck had never helped him continue after failure. Luck had never pushed him to keep going when nobody believed in him. His habits had done that. His discipline had done that. His consistency had done that. Years later, Daniel looked back at his journey and realized that success had never been one giant moment. It had been thousands of tiny decisions made every single day. Every page he read, every workout he completed, every lesson he learned, every excuse he refused to believe. Those tiny moments slowly built the future he once imagined while sitting on the roof of his childhood home. That day, he finally understood the greatest lesson of his life. Excuses make today comfortable, but they make tomorrow harder. Action makes today difficult, but it makes tomorrow easier. So if you have a dream, don't wait until Monday. Don't wait until next month. Don't wait until next year. And don't wait until everything feels perfect, because perfection never comes. Start today. Read 1 page. Learn 1 lesson. Walk 1 mile. Write 1 paragraph. Save $1. Improve 1 habit, because great lives are never built in a single day. They are built one small decision at a time. And one day, when people look at your success and call you lucky, you'll simply smile, because you'll remember every morning you chose action instead of excuses, every evening you refused to quit, every failure that taught you a lesson, and every tiny step that slowly transformed your dreams into reality.